Hello, my name is Michael Riley. I finally got, after a conversation, second conversation with Chris Horne, manager of the accounts department at OfferUp. He wasn't going anywhere. We had a first conversation, which is on the previous video, and set up a time to get together. He was going to talk to his management, whatever, and find out what they could do, and getting the problems with the non-working OfferUp posting ads, how they could get it fixed. And I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere because I've seen this before. It's really a simple fix, but they don't want contact information put in there for $250 a month. I mean, this is ridiculous. eBay was pulling this garbage, and the government came in, and there's a law against when you do a transaction with a customer, they have to be able to communicate with the buyer, and seller have to be able to communicate. You can't block that. So they're going to find out the hard way. But they want you to go up to the next level as a business and pay them $300 a month. That's the first level. There's two other levels higher than that, so they're even more expensive than that. And Kaylin wouldn't tell me what those prices were. I asked her, but she just kind of alluded to and stayed on the first level and didn't answer the question. She's very nice, but I think they've been told, don't give out too much information, I think. So I don't put that on Kaylin, except for working there. That's an integrity thing, and I think that she needs to look at a different place to work. Excuse me. But Chris is one of those guys, a millennial that, and I'm going to use these terms because it's absolutely accurate. And it's not from an older well, it is from an older standpoint. Things have changed over the last many years here with the other generations coming up, more so than ever before, thinking that they know it all. Especially these IT people. I've been doing programming and software and hardware, all of it. Anything that's on the web, I do. I put these websites and apps together. I do them. So I know exactly what it takes and when there's a problem, what the correction can be in the coding. I know what it is right off the bat. It's a couple different things, depending on what language they've used to put it together, and that kind of stuff depends on what kind of correction that you would make to make it work. But the bottom line is, Chris just was another example of somebody, and I have another one in another situation I'm dealing with right now. Same thing. He doesn't know what's going on. I've got products that, in the other situation, that this corporation's been supplying products since 1967, refrigeration products, and they're selling them at all the major distributors. I mean, these are big names, distributors, parts houses, all over the world, some of them global. This manufacturer, provider of parts, has been selling to these major distributors for 35 plus years. And inside the box on the outside of the box, it says it's sealed and dehydrated. It's copper tubing, which is critical. You have to keep it sealed on both ends so no air and contamination gets inside the tubing. It's that simple. Common sense for anybody that has common sense. It's like putting the cap back on the milk jug so nothing gets inside. Or anything that we seal back up. A third grader, 3-year-old knows this. But an engineer at this manufacturer says, no, the box is wrong. We have to change the box. We've been packaging them that way for 35 plus years. Really? Well, then you've been doing the opposite of everybody else in the whole industry worldwide. Because it's critical and critical that this tubing be all refrigeration parts be sealed and dehydrated. All the moisture out of the system, it's contaminant. So anyways, that's another situation. And this is what I'm saying. This guy's a younger guy. He's got no common sense. I even tried to make the common sense to him. It's moisture getting in his, Same thing with Chris here. Chris starts jumping into he won't believe a word I say. I mean, this is almost like I was married again. And people, and I'm not picking on women here. This goes both ways. In a relationship, you get into a situation where you're proving yourself to this person. Why can't you just take my word for it? And if I know about the product, this is my business for almost 50 years. So Chris comes in here. He doesn't know anything about this stuff, this app, except what he's been told. And he's been told wrong, because everybody else is saying the same things. One girl's jumping all over me, and she's going to teach me and instruct me. I said, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. You're talking down to me. You don't know what you're talking about. That's not how the search works anyways. She's telling me how the search works, and like they're pros on this stuff. They've been told this stuff, but it's not accurate. It's not accurate. I even proved it by testing it. So I'm unable to put products in because it's pulling out my part numbers, 7-digit part number. And it's saying removed contact info. 7 digits is not a contact info. Phone numbers are 7 digits, but that's not with the area code, 10 digits. So it's not even an accurate extraction of a contact phone number, because they're not 7 digits. It's pulling out my part numbers. I can't sell parts. You have to put a part number in for any part, for anything. It doesn't matter what the part's for, a car part, it doesn't matter. So you got to be able to put the part number in. People search by the part number. They're not going to go through tens of thousands of pictures and click on each picture. You know how these apps are. Just like profiles for dating or something. You see the picture and you click on it. You're going to do that for 10,000 parts or 100,000 parts? You'll be there till you're dead, and you'll never get to the answer. You got to be able to search for the part number. Chris he can't even figure this out in his head. He starts, I need to see, he's saying the same thing the girl was saying earlier, that it doesn't search by the title, it searches by the body, and if you put it into the body, it'll work, and I said, no, it won't. I already tested that about 50 times, and I'm not exaggerating, because I was doing this for like 3 weeks, trying to get this thing to work, and testing all kinds of different ways of putting it in. Wasn't possible, because it extracts it from anything, any part of the ad that you put in. It extracts 7 numbers. And my numbers happen to be 7. That's why I'm going to keep saying that. There's 7-digit part numbers. And it pulls them out, and it puts in parentheses, removed contact info. It's written, and then it's in parentheses. Removed contact info instead of the part number that was in there previously. So they can't search for the part number. This was the whole issue. If I can't put my part number in, it doesn't work. And then they control your money. The money goes to them when you sell? I don't think so. I wasn't aware of that either. You guys, if you got eBay was doing that, and they were holding money for 21 days and all this, well, those days are gone. Unless you have a problem in your account and you're a lowlife and you're doing things wrong. You get in trouble all the time. Then they'll start holding your money. But you don't do that to people online selling their products. There's so many complaints, thousands of complaints about eBay not releasing people's funds because a buyer says this or say. You can't do that. They have possession of that. If they want to sue you, they can go to court and sue you. But OfferUp has no right at all of holding their funds. They're not your mother. They're not the controller of your business. That's the other problem with these these types of sites. I used to get these guys on eBay, and even PayPal with my business account with PayPal. I've been with them since they started, like 1990s, whatever it was, 6 or whatever. And we went through all those problems where they get you on the phone and they start telling you how to run your business. I've been doing this business over 45 years. You're a kid that just got out of grade school and got a job, started high school, you got a job at OfferUp, or, you know, and you're going to start telling me how to run my business? Excuse me? You know, that's equivalent to these. This kills me every time I see this. You get these girls and guys, younger, 19, 18, 19, life coaches. Yeah, they're life coaches. They're going to tell you how to live and organize your life. They're 18, 19 years old. What the heck do they know about life? They don't even know what it's like to live yet. They were just born yesterday. Yeah, they know everything. They learn a couple things, see a couple things, and now they know everything. Now they can go out and run a business being a life coach. You know, it's like the personal trainers. I mean, it's just a crack up. You know, this person's looks like they're out of shape and everything else, and they're a personal trainer. Tell you what not to do is what they're going to do. That's what they could do. Tell you you don't want to end up like this. Don't do what I did. That's all they can tell you. I mean, this is what we were dealing with. All these know-it-alls, like we've never seen it before. And it's because of the internet and the social media that everybody wants to run a business. So they're coming up with ideas. They get one little idea, and now they're a pro at it. And it's garbage. And Nick Huzar is running a app here that doesn't work. That's fraud. It's just fraud. And I'm not making that up. It's true. I've got proof of it now, in writing and everything. It doesn't work. So Chris comes back to me the next day, and I told him, I said, a requirement to keep me is that you get somebody in upper management to talk to me as well, and hopefully an IT person, so I can tell him what the problem is, because you don't understand it. But he forces me to do the example. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it and prove to you, right in front of your eyes. And I did it. I said, updated the page, put in the part number, updated the page. He looked at it and he was like, oh, yeah. I said, I told you that. I've tested this 50 plus times. You just are jumping all over me like you know more than I do. So apparently that tells me you haven't tested it. You knew what the problem was. I've sent tons of emails and screenshots to Kalen, and you didn't read those. See, he wasn't even prepared to talk to me. That's the first thing you do. If you want to learn out there, whoever's listening to this, if you get into a management position, you don't go talk to somebody with a know-it-all attitude. He wouldn't even listen to me. He kept interrupting me. But he doesn't know what he's talking about. And hopefully he won't do that again, because I wasn't really easy on him about it. I wrote him an email and said, the first thing you got to do is learn to listen. In any situation, a relationship, that's the biggest problem with relationships. Nobody listens to each other. They just are going to win. They're going to win. They know better. Two people can't win. If you really think about it, two people can't win. Two football teams can't win. Two basketball teams can't win. Two of anything can't win against each other if they see differently. It's impossible. That's where the conflict and domestic violence and everything else comes in. This comes from experience, knowing these things and I understand that. But this is where these two generations behind me have failed miserably, and they're going to fail, and it's going to really hurt them in their keeping a job and everything else. Because I'm not very nice with them. When they get like this and they won't back off, I go right to the higher ups and I let them know please listen to the conversation we had on the phone, because they record them, a lot of the companies. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. And he's jumping all over me. That's where the problem is, because you can learn if you listen. But they're not willing to learn. Chris needed to look at all my previous contacts with Kalen and with the other people, 2 other people. Did he? No. No, because he didn't even know what the problem was. You don't go cold into addressing a problem unless you have a know-it-all attitude and oh, he's a jerk, and like somebody says, yeah, he's demanding this and this, and they just are all going, oh, it works fine because other people are using it. You haven't looked at it, and other people are not happy. Thousands and thousands. Better Business Bureau, F rating. Yeah, F rating. It's unbelievable. And he's sitting here boasting about it. It's sick. So he didn't have anybody to talk to me except himself. And himself, the second time we talked, was not my agreement. Because I'm not going to go on and on with this. I told him, I said, you know what? I need all my money back. This has not worked from day one. You charged me $50, and then it was a week or so before the first of the month, and then you took $250 out of my account, and it was constant not working emails back and forth from day one. But then you take $250 out and you haven't fixed anything. Are you kidding me? That's not going to happen. That's fraud. When you take money for something and you say it works and it doesn't work, that's fraud. It's just the simplest definition of fraud. I mean, it is. So OfferUp is committing fraud. They did against me, and I want my money back. You're not taking another dime out of my account. I'll close my account because they have your account information at that point when you signed up and signed the agreement. They violated their agreement with me. They sold me a product that does not work. You can't do that. It's like selling a car to somebody, tell them it works, taking their money, and they go home and it doesn't work. Or a refrigerator, or whatever you can't do that. It's against the law. That's fraud. It goes with an app, too. Signing an agreement to use an app that's supposed to be working. They've misrepresented it, and it doesn't work. I want my money back. But it's hard with these companies a lot of times to get them to give your money back. I mean, I'm not backing off. That's why I hit Nick Huzar on LinkedIn. Because I'm going to make this public if you don't answer me. Same thing I did with the CEO, Jamie Iannone of eBay. Everybody from all over the world was going, whoa, he's putting up screenshots and stuff, and he's got facts here. Yeah, I do. Because I'm not going to defame anybody. Facts are not defamation. If you're knowingly telling a lie, that's defamation. But if you have proof, and that's the thing about it, people, if you're going to attack somebody, do it online. Go right to their LinkedIn account and attack them, but do it so you don't get thrown off. Maybe the easiest way to say it is you don't get thrown off LinkedIn. Don't be the jerk, okay? Be cordial. You can be strong. Don't cuss. Just be an adult. You did me wrong. Here's the facts. I want this corrected. Put the facts up. And LinkedIn won't do anything about it. They're good about that. But if I've never done it, but any social media platform, if you go being abusive, they're going to throw you off. They don't need that on their platform. And it's not adult anyways. It's not productive either. Because all it's going to do is get a negative response from the person that's on the other side when you attack them. Don't attack them. I threw Nick and I threw the CEO of eBay up against the wall nicely. It's the way that I learned from a New Yorker a long time ago. When this customer had abused me, he was cussing and everything else at me, I left the house and I talked to him, and he's a New Yorker and she was a New Yorker, and he says, you just can't back down with him. You just got to throw them up against the wall nicely. In other words, don't back down. Just stand up there and don't let them know that they're hurting you and abusing you. Stand up for yourself, and they'll back off. And they just want something solved, and let them know you're going to solve it. That's the bottom line. It's not about winning the fight. It's about being decent and putting yourself also in their shoes. How would I want to be treated? I don't want to be yelled at and cussed at. But I understand. He bought something and he didn't get it. So if you're decent about it, just like saying, when you treat somebody nice, you usually get a nice response, a decent response. You're going to get the kind of response you give out. And it won't be good if you're abusive. Don't be abusive. Same thing in relationships. Just communicate. It's okay to disagree. But then that's what courts are for. If they can't see the reason and you put up all the facts and they're not going to go your way, then you got to sue them. But you don't go threatening them and everything else. You just don't do that. I'm usually successful in throwing them up against the wall nicely. And then they're apologizing and admitting they're wrong. Jordan Trent, the executive department, the CEO sent him to me to contact me, and he admitted that there was a mistake. Problem there, he only gave me $740, $744 back, $700 instead of $10,400 they owed me. So I got to sue them for the rest because they won't give it up. But they admitted it, so I've got that in my favor in writing. It was their fault. So they have no justification for holding the rest of the money. But I got to sue them. They're going to force me to sue them. So I will. Same thing here with Nick. Give me my money back. I've given him every reason why and proved to him it doesn't work. And I had to prove that with Chris. He knows everything. Now, I told him, and I'm not shy about it. I said, see, I told you. You don't believe a word I'm saying. You're interrupting me. You're talking over me. You won't let me explain. You won't listen to me. At all. And it's not because I know it all. For one, I put these programs together. I've been doing it for as long as the web has been around. I've got a web server of my own. I'm a programmer. I'm a web developer. I'm not a website maker. I'm a web developer. Anything you see on the web, I do. I program, I do databasing, I do back end, which is a coding, and I do coding. I do everything. So I understand what's on the back end that you can't see on the screen, the coding, and what's causing it to happen on the screen. And I know what they can do to fix it. If they care, if they don't know, but they don't care to change it. That's why they didn't come forward in the meeting the second day, because they don't care to change anything. They want to just do what they're doing to people, and it's wrong, as far as I'm concerned. This is wrong. It didn't work. And they're charging me this much money, $250 a month, for something that doesn't work. And then holding my money because they won't let the money transact directly to me? Excuse me? I don't think so. And you're going to release it whenever you want to release it to me? There's people that haven't even been paid. I've read examples of over a year, over 2 years, they never got paid. eBay just refuses because the buyer said this. No, that's wrong. OfferUp needs to go to court, and you people need to take them to court. See, you got to stop letting this stuff happen. You just have to stop letting it happen. You just go online and find an attorney. It's going to take some money to do it, but that's the other factor. People don't have the money. They're just struggling. I understand that. But speak up. That's the other thing that can happen. Because somebody will have the money, or a lawyer out there. I wish the lawyers would stand up more and be decent human beings. I don't care for lawyers. Because they're like, oh, we need $10,000 retainer up front. Think about it. Lawyers tell everybody else, and everybody's heard these stories on the news. Don't give a roofing contractor any money up front if he's buying all the roofing materials. The roofing materials can be $10,000. Of course the roofer has to get money up front, not only for the commitment on the job, because people can back out. You got to go and get all those roofing materials that cost you a lot of money, and then the customer backs out. No, it's a commitment to do the job. They sign an agreement, but sometimes they'll just say, no, I'm going to do it. I don't care if I sign an agreement. I changed my mind. Because they'll go shop around after the agreement's been made and signed. Well, no. That's why I always have gotten, with my repairs, money for the parts. I'm not paying it out of my own pocket. I've just told the customers the truth. I don't pay the money out of my pocket for the parts. That's my own personal money. You're going to pay it in the end. You're paying that up front, the labor, when I do the job. It's fair. But lawyers, they're the only people, not even doctors, everybody else gets paid after the services are rendered. That's the way it works. That's the legal way things work. That's the way they tell people to do things. Customers don't give money up front to a roofing contractor to get parts. Supplies. You pay them all at once after the job's done. Oh, BS. Because then what if they refuse to pay you at all? And that's what lawyers are worried about. That they're not going to get paid. So they want all their money up front. In fact, in a lot of cases, the court system backs them up on it. Because they're all lawyers. Judges are lawyers. They just got appointed as now, instead of a lawyer, now they've made that promotion to judge. If some people didn't know that. I think most people do. There's might be some people that don't. It's sick, and when you're in dire need of help and you don't have much money, they won't even work an agreement with you. This is terrible what OfferUp's doing here, and they're keeping your money, and I mean, they're deciding your fate. You went on, these girls going on to sell a purse because they need money to pay their house, their rent, and OfferUp doesn't give them the money. They sell the purse, and OfferUp doesn't give them the money because the buyer complains or something. This is not right. It's criminal as far as I'm concerned. And here he is bragging about it. Nick Huzar, the co-founder. And they got people like Letty, and that started jumping all over me, being condescending to me, some young girl, telling me like she knows it all. She doesn't know anything. She was wrong about what she was saying. And Chris was saying the same thing she was saying. So I finally, the second day, I told him, I said, look, when we were, we didn't take too long in the conversation. I said, I told you, if you don't have somebody else for me to talk to, I'm done. I'm just done. Because you're not going to fix the problem. It's all wind at this point. You're just blowing wind in my face. And it's BS. And it's fraud. And I'm not going to have any part of it. I'm going to let everybody else know that. I need all my money back, and I need it back ASAP. You need to cancel that agreement that you guys violated, because you sold me something that doesn't work. That agreement's no good. You breached it. Cancel that, and no more charges out of my credit card in the future. And we're done. So he got back to me in a few days and got my full refunded and canceled my agreement, and we're done. So I would warn others to look at it, look how it's put together. There's no buy buttons on the site. There's no buy. It's make an offer. It's ridiculous. You can't ship. They ship your product. I mean, what's up with this? The shipping, it wouldn't even let me set up to ship the. People are not all local. This site is really screwed up. this app. People are not all local. Make an offer and you can't set up shipping, so they have to. What good is the site? People are going to buy all over the world. That's why it's called a World Wide Web. OfferUp, wake up. I don't know if Nick is. I don't know what his education is, because for them to think that they can't, they're not going to allow you ship, or if you do ship, they determine whether you can ship or not. Yeah, you're not. Mine was like you're not able to ship your products. Your products are in the wrong category to be able to ship. Excuse me? I mean, this is like a childish app. It's just BS. It makes no sense. It doesn't work. When you're filling out going to post one ad, this stuff is not working. You can't set up shipping. You can't. It's like, what's going on? I've been on eBay for 24 years. And they've had their problems, believe me. I've had problems with them. And they've come around to finally seeing the light that you have to do certain things certain ways. You don't keep our money. If you got a problem child, kick them off eBay. But you don't penalize everybody or say we might do it ahead of time so you're going to hold our money. No. And Nick, you got to pull your head out of your butt. That's not the way you treat people. And go read the complaints, the thousands of complaints out there. I don't think you even have any idea or neither care about all the people that have been ripped off by you guys. I've read the complaints. There's thousands of them. And Better Business Bureau says you don't even respond to most of them. The majority of them you don't respond to. That's why you got an F rating. You proud of that? And now he starts up some new company, Juicer or something. Stupid name. For the electric cars. You know, the golf carts people are spending $50,000 plus on that are going to go away in a few years. You want to be stuck in the middle of the desert or something, or the middle of somewhere, and are you kidding? When it runs out of electricity? That's insane. It's not like a car. A car can quit any time if it has a major problem. But engine-wise, you know what your gas gauge says. You can't trust the electric ones because it will dissipate with the heat as well. Any battery will. It loses electricity, the power. It loses it much quicker when it's hot. And if the environment is hotter and hotter, you're going to lose it. You think you can get 200 miles out of it? What if you're driving through the middle of the summer and the heat and it's not 200 anymore, it's 60 miles. And you're in the middle of nowhere. Good luck. Say goodbye to the world. And thank people like Nick Huzar that back this garbage, this dangerous garbage that they're trying to push just to make billions of dollars for themselves. And they're overtaxing the grid. The grid was overtaxed before this garbage started. So where do they get off justifying putting even more of a burden on our grid, electrical grid, power grid? Are you kidding? This is all we hear about, and everybody knows that. Every summer, there's a cutback on you. Set your thermostat at this, whatever. This has been going on for 50 years. And now they want to put all these people charging their cars on it? Wow. And who's paying the price? We are. And they're out there with gas generators charging up their cars. What a paradox that is. Oxymoron, huh? Yeah, that's you, oxymoron, Nick. Charging their car up with a gas generator. Or they're sitting in their car waiting for it to charge up. I saw that the other day. I was like, are you kidding me? You're going to sit in there for 8 hours? when you were supposed to make it to work, but you can't make it to work now, so you got to call in and say, my car quit, I have to charge it up, I won't be able to make it to work. This is past stupid. This is who Nick Huzar is. All he cares about is trying to jump on the bandwagon and make money, and OfferUp is a scam, as far as I'm concerned. It was for me, and there's thousands and thousands of reviews that say it is too. Keeping their money doesn't work. This is unbelievable. So I'm hoping that he actually gets addressed legally and ends up where he belongs. I think it's in jail. That's just my opinion. You can't take and defraud people like this. Luckily, I got my money back and jumped ship quick after 3.5 weeks. This was not going to get any better, and people don't think it's going to, because this is what they do. I get impatient quick when I deal with stupidity like this, especially blatant, fraudulent stupidity up front. I jump ship fast because it's not going to get any better. Don't think it will, and don't believe them. It won't. Go read the reviews, and when you see that horrible, jump ship, because that's what's happened to everybody else too. The longer you stay, the more you're going to lose. It's not going to get fixed. Okay? All right. So I finally got my money back. These guys are characters. I think it's a scam. That's my personal opinion. It's been around for like 11 years, but look at the thousands and thousands of complaints. So it's just barely hanging in there as far as I'm concerned. He's making claims of values of $2 billion or $1 billion, or I don't know what the heck is, But when you misrepresent a product like he did to me, that's fraud. So if he's misrepresenting it to investors, that would also be fraud, because I'd like to share with the investors. Contact me. I'll share with proof of my fraudulent experience with OfferUp and why I demanded my money back fast, because it doesn't work. So you can't. There's no pay button. People can't buy your product. How are you supposed to do this? Make an offer. They need to pay. Everybody knows that. You go on any site, there's a pay button. And it goes into the person selling its account, not OfferUp's account. He wants to control everybody's money. He guarantees he has his money. He's getting richer and richer because he's got all this money and he's not paying it all back out. So says these complaints. Yeah. So beware, people, and get all the information before you decide to go on OfferUp. That's all I can tell you. I'm sorry I even had anything to do with them. I looked at it as a kiddie app, because it's, you see advertising, girls putting purses on. That's not for me. I want some professional platform that I can sell my products on, that works right. And OfferUp doesn't work. Didn't work at all. So, all right. Once again, it's Michael Riley. If you have any comments or experiences you want to share with me, please do. You can contact me as well. Usually my contact info is wherever this video is at. Okay? All right. Thank you. Be safe and beware of OfferUp, please. All right. Take care. Thanks. Bye.